And Rich Glazier with you back in the paddock at Delaware Park. We're ready for the feature race of the day. It's entitled the Nick Shuk Memorial. Now, I know we named so many of our races after great racehorses. I don't remember this horse, Nick Shuk, running, but I have with me an expert, Dr. John Toothman. Was Nick Shuk a horse?
No, Nick Shuk wasn't a horse. Nick Shuk was a jockey. He was one of the top jockeys in the 50s and 60s. He won the riding title here at Delaware Park 3 years and 8 years in Maryland. He was there with, Willie Hardtack, Joe Colmone, Sammy Bomitas, Eldon Nelson, those riders of that particular era. So he was a first-class jockey and a first-class person too.
You know, you don't see many races named after past jockeys. Why do you think Nick Shuk gets this honor?
Well, I think Nick is deserving of it. He loved Delaware Park. I can tell you a story. Jimmy, I think his name was Jimmy Jones. I think he was at Calumet Farms. He turned down a contract with Calumet Farms to stay at Delaware Park. Willie Hardtack got that contract and won the Kentucky Derby. That's how much he loved Delaware Park.
I know he won a lot of big races in his career, but the Triple Crown races eluded him.
No, the Triple Crown, if he'd won a Triple Crown, he'd probably be in the Hall of Fame right now. And it's really sad that Saratoga horse that he rode in the Preakness that was beat by Nashua, that really hurt him, because he always complained. He said, that horse was short. That horse won because it was large, but that wasn't the case at all. Eddie Arcaro thought he did a great job riding, but yeah, he won some major stakes. Yeah.
I was just pretending in the beginning. I, of course, knew Nick Shuk was a jockey. In fact, he was the first jockey I remember as a kid because I could spell his name, Nickshuk.
Yeah, people loved his name. He had a lot of charisma. He had that little gold tooth he had, and he connected to the crowd, and he'd always hang around after the races. And everybody loved to holler at him. Let him rip, Nick. And up in Canada, they used to say, "Don't duck, bet Shuk."
I remember, Doc, that he used to wear white gloves. What was that about?
Well, he was allergic to horses, believe it or not. He had this horrible rash. So he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, maybe just wear some surgical gloves. So those little thin surgical gloves you can buy by the case. So he bought them after every race. He would throw them away, put a new pair on. They were nice and white, too. So you can always find him. All you had to do is look for those white gloves.
Unusual for a jockey to be allergic to a horse.
Yeah. Oh, it is, yeah.
All right, Doc, you seem to know a lot about him. Why don't you write a book about him?
Well, I do. I have the book called The Reinsman and Nick Shuk Story. It became his biography, and that's how I met Nick and spent a couple years with him. And it was just it's such a wonderful experience for me, and I learned so much from him, and I wound up, obviously get very affectionate towards someone like that. He had a tough life, and it meant a lot to me, and hopefully it meant a lot to him too.
How could people get a hold of this book?
The best place to get it, the most reasonable place, is Amazon.com. I think it's about $10. So it's a nice little read, and it's a good story. It's a great story about Delaware Park, and those are people at Delaware Park. There's a lot of history in there, and I think they would enjoy reading it. And it's wonderful that John Mooney, director of racing, keeps this Nick Shuk race alive. Very much appreciated by me, and I'm sure Nick's family also.
Well, you're also helping keep the race alive by telling us about them and by the book. It's once again in the Reinsman by Dr. John Toothman. Doc Toothman, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you very much.
All right, now we'll take a look at the field for the Nick Shuk Memorial. Now that you know something about the man.